yeah, so we're ready. We'll probably, when we get to the sort of top of the launch,
Yeah.
if you start to turn the varier on, we just see, yeah. So. Okay, that's before I've got my hand on release. Anything really that close than what's ahead. Oh, it's a nightmare, isn't it? Okay, you flies towards his clouds then, Alex.
So rudder as well?
Yep, you got the rudder as well. Sorry, I didn't know. A bit live here. Okay, come round to the right, good look down, remember? Not. Okay, and just go behind the winch, there we go, it's level out there. No, it's just a nightmare, isn't it? Okay, you're going to fly me around the circuit there. Come over to left a little. Yep. You make sure you keep the 45 knots on. And now let's do a 90-degree turn.
To the right?
To the right, yeah. Can I have it, actually?
Yeah, you got the turn.
More like it. I had it actually when I got a bit higher, hopefully if I do manage to get a bit. Problem is, low down the thermals are very narrow, so you have to turn pretty tightly. Otherwise, you just won't be in it. And as they go higher, they expand in size, so you can actually quite often ease off the rate of the radius of turn as you get higher.
It seems to be quite sort of centred over those trees, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a wind effect because it gets drifted, but yeah. Actually, I think it may be for the concrete hard standing area. As you come round, there's some buildings. You see that farmyard? I think it might be off that. If you imagine the wind having drifted it as it's left. broken as well. I think if anything, we need to head a bit more in this direction. Did you have a fair time with Richard thermaling then?
Yeah, we only intended to do a hangar flight, but then we found the thermal and so sat in it for half an hour, so it's got a bit of height.
Do you want to have a go?
I can do.
You have control? Just try and keep it on. Try not to get pushed out of the thermal, so it will try and do it. So if you feel it trying to push you out, just dig the wing in.
If we keep sort of speeding up rather than...
Yeah, you'll probably find it's not continuous, but don't be tempted to keep changing the angle of turn because you'll probably fly out of it. So just go with, if you're going up, I just tend to go with it. Just a bit fast there, Alex, just ease back on the nose bit. As you go steeper, there's a tendency of the nose to drop, so remember you need a bit more back pressure on the stick. So just again, I think you're finding because it's not trimmed with our weight, you just got to work that a little bit harder on stopping the nose dropping. Keep going then. I think when you're sort of not concentrating looking out, you're letting the nose drop. The best thing is to look out, to be honest. Just a little bit slower if you can. Now it might be a good time to ease off the turn a bit and just see where the lift actually is. And if you sorry, not completely, sorry, I didn't explain that very well. Just search around, and when you see it, if you encounter strong lift, tighten the turn. Right. There we go. And just be determined to stay in that. Yeah, you're letting it go to 60, so but don't look on the side to do that. That's try and suss out how much ground you need over the nose, and just try and keep that there without looking in the cockpit. Because as soon as you look in the cockpit, because we're not trimmed out, the nose will drop.
Are we thinking about 55 now?
50's fine, but if 55 makes it more controllable, that's also fine. You know, you've got to find the best speed, because if you're too slow, yes, you'll get a better climb rate in theory, but if you can't stop yourself being thrown out of thermal, it's counterproductive. So you need the compromise between climb rate and controllability. Yeah, when you actually, it's when you're in lift, it's best not to tighten there. It's best not to go completely straight, or at least not for very long, because you'll definitely fly out of it. Sometimes it's a good strategy to do it for maybe a second, and then go back in, but...
traffic up there, that's still something to worry about.
Okay, I've got him, yeah. It's well above us, isn't it? I need to keep an eye on him. Trying to let the nose drop. Yeah, he's in lift over there, so you know we'll stay in our own, shall we? I'll keep an eye on him. There's no conflict at the moment. Yeah, so try and get in the habit of looking. I know trying to get in the habit of looking out of the cockpit as much as possible to judge your speed. I know it's hard, particularly if you've done a lot of sort of flight sim stuff, but it doesn't really work in a glider to look in the cockpit too much. Apart from anything else, there's too much risk you getting wrapped around another glider. It's good though. So when you've got a surge like that, just try and fly as accurate as you can to sort of, you know, make use of it. Well done. I'll tell you what, he's in stronger lift than us, so should we go over to him? This guy out to our left, you spot him. No, he's coming over to join us. Okay, just centre on him. Turn left now?
Left.
Yeah, just because he's established the direction of this thermal now, which is a left-hand one. And perhaps some left turns though. Because we're kind of in very similar thermals, but sort of overlapping, which isn't really ideal. You really want to go to join somebody if you're in that situation. I can see him, he's well above us, no conflict. I say keep going around. A bit more left rudder, just to keep that string. So it's rudder where the string isn't it, basically, is the rule. It's good flying though, especially considering it's really rough. Again, no conflict on the other glider, he's well up several hundred feet above us. Got some birds now as well, must be a good thermal.
Sort of industrial estate, haven't we?
Yeah. We're doing well. Considering our low point was about 800 feet, if that. It's an other glider, he seems to just clear.
I think I saw one move a lot more traffic there that didn't look like a glider. Oh no, no.
Yeah, it's like the K8. I think he might have disappeared. He was quite a lot higher than us. He probably went, when he got the cloud base, he probably set off on his task. Still think the trigger was that farmyard, because remember it would have drifted downwind, and the higher we are, the bigger the difference will be between what we're over on the ground and where the thermal source will. So this is sink. This side now, it's got very strong lift at least, isn't it? Keep him around there. I'm just trying to gauge where the strong lift is. Open up a bit there, straight, wings leveler for a second. And go back in. Remembering the rudder, yep.
keep back in.
A little bit of left rudder, remember, so not quite enough into turn rudder. Another K13 very low, just about to go over the motor. Cooler up here, isn't it?
Yeah. There would have been more gliders around. I can't see them. There's quite a lot going on at Vista, isn't there? There's on the ground there. Also, all this traffic for Silverstone doesn't seem to materialise. Maybe it's tomorrow. I think the actual race is tomorrow.
Yeah,
but a lot of people arrive.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Normally we get loads and loads of helicopters, but maybe that's going to be more on race day. So are you working now, or sort of?
No. I've been trying to find a job somewhere, but
yeah.
The problem is
sign the times, isn't it?
The problem is that 15 is that a lot of places for health and safety reasons stuff.
We have that at work actually. It's a bit of a nightmare really. You can't. We have people on sort of doing a week or two of work, and there's so many limitations for what we can get them to do compared to previously.
The annoying thing is, because I've finished my exams now, I'm off until September.
Oh right, yeah.
And it's not my birthday till August, so I've got all this time now.
Are you doing A-levels then?
Yeah, I'm staying on A-level.
So which school are you at?
Marlborough.
Okay, yeah, my daughter's there.
Oh, right.
So she's in year. Yeah, she's 12, so she's way down. I can't really do these years because it was totally different when I was in school. So year 11 or something. I think she's in 12 now.
Did you say she's in year 12 or she's 12 years old?
She's 12, so she'll be in year
8, I think.
year 7. Yeah, she'll just go into. She's about to go into year 8.
Yeah.
No, she likes it actually. So.
Yeah, I think it's good.
So we just flow. Either we've hit the top of the lift or we've flown out of it. I'd head for this cloud straight ahead now. It's quite promising. When heading for clouds, particularly on good days, it's really a good idea to have a very, very close look for other gliders.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times everybody's done it, you get to the cloud and you think, shit, how did I not see that other glider? It's I don't know what it is, but it's really hard sometimes to pick them up.
So
So do you think for a lookout technique, you sort of, so I look at one area, stop and think about it for a minute, and
exactly.
then move on?
The lookout, the scan cycle is you split the horizon up into sectors.
Right.
So, for instance, let's say we start at left wingtip. We look over there.
Yeah.
We look on the horizon,
Yeah.
above and below it,
Above and below.
and then we move our eyes to the next segment, and we do the same. Because your eyes are really, really bad at actually picking up targets. You know, if you just generally look at an area, it doesn't really work. So that you do have to have that scan cycle where you split it up into segments and physically make yourself look in those areas. You know, and okay, so a bit of luck, this might have something under it. So we just have to be ready and just kind of decide which way. In terms of where you're turning, if a wing's picked up, turn in that direction.
Right. So
Left. Oh, I don't know, whatever you think, but which wing's tending to be picked up? Go left. Let's see what that does. So I didn't explain that very well. What I'm saying is, if you imagine if your wing hits the thermal before the rest of the glider, that wing will get picked up, and if you can sense that, you dig that, you can reduce the risk of turning the wrong way.
Yeah.
So it's kind of turn into the wing that's lifted. It doesn't always work that way, and everybody turns the wrong way, and then you've just got to sort it out. But that looks good. Right decision.
I find we're trying to sort of spot other traffic is that seeing as a lot of the gliders are painted white, they can be quite difficult to spot, especially at a distance.
Yeah, you're right, and unfortunately the composite gliders have to be painted white for structural reasons, so it's a bit of a problem really. And you haven't got an engine to run like a strobe light, which
I don't know, some of the sort of videos I watch on YouTube they've got that sort of, I think, flarm, something like that.
Yeah, that's actually mandatory in some clubs. It's mandatory in the Alps as well, because people ridge run and they can, if you're coming in the opposite direction to another glider, it's a bit like a highway in the sky, you know.
Yeah.
Normally the risk of collision's low, but if you're following the same linear feature as somebody else, then it's not. Same with the RAF flying up these valleys in Wales. They've got to have a kind of one-way system. One glider landing. So, so what do you think about this thermal now then? I think the cloud's over there. If you straighten up now, see over to your left, Alex. This nice dark cloud that looks quite promising. Yeah, just try. I guarantee, because just try fly around under this cloud and see if you can pick anything up. There you go, just tightening that. Generally the clouds with well-defined dark bottoms are good, like the one on the nose now. Even better is sort of concave. If they got a concave dark bottom, that's really normally good. What's poorer with the ones that have got all raggedy, because that means they started to decay. Right. And if you go to clouds like that, you generally find sink, which is not good. Particularly if you're 50 miles from home. Yeah.
Whenever you've got lift, does that mean there must be sink somewhere?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you go to really strong, normally when you approach a cloud, you have to fly through sink to get to it, because it's a circulation. So you've got a donut of sink around the lift. So you've got to be quite brave really. If you just turn away every time you hit sink, you'll never get to the lift. Yeah. And if it's strong lift, it will equally be strong sink. So.
The other thing is, when you're therming, you've got to make sure you don't just go out of that and hit the city.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to. It's very important when you're figuring out, when you're local soaring, think, can I really make that cloud? Yeah. If it doesn't work, not only have you got to fly for the sink to get there, you've got to fly for the sink to get back to the airfield. So you've got to be you've got to be mindful of that as well. You can burn an awful lot of height flying through 6 knots down. So I would just level now and just fly up this. So effectively it's a street, isn't it? You've got a line of clouds, all of which hopefully should be working. I mean, that's the ideal when you get a line of thermals that are aligned with the wind.
Yeah.
And that's obviously, if that's in your direction you want to go, that's ideal because you don't really have to turn.
Okay.
You can just fly almost like a highway, in the sky. This isn't quite a street because the wind's not windy enough, but that cloud looks promising ahead.
Which way do you recommend turning?
So I'm just saying straight on. See the cloud?
That one,
yeah. Yeah. And if you look above the cloud, see that kind of circulation?
Yeah.
That's actually a good sign as well. That normally indicates that it's working. It's like a duck's bum feather, it's kind of rolling over. So I just wondered. Yeah, so we're actually in lift already. But let's just see if it works.
Yeah.
Got to make sure we don't get too close to the winch. That's the only thing. Because it's hard for me. I can't see too well. Because
that little thing there.
I think we're okay at the moment, aren't we?
You've got plenty of height over
Yeah.
the winch.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So basically, we're going this low bit of the base. That's what I reckon we should probably go for. But who knows? Let's see. It's not. It's weird, the clouds always look better from a distance than they do when you get to them though. This doesn't look very flat anymore, does it? But it looked good from a distance. So dark's good basically.
Right.
Dark flat bottoms and well-formed, ideally well-formed tops. These aren't really classically well-formed clouds though, are they? They're a bit raggedy. The other thing you've got to remember is because the thermal drifts with the wind, you quite often have to fly upwind of the cloud before you contact the lift. If you don't sort of give up when you just get to the cloud, because you might have to push a little bit further on. Or it may just not be working. Push on a little bit more speed just so we make a bit more progress against the wind. Yeah, well, remember we will get stink before we get to lift, but it may just be that cloud's not working. Let's try the next one.
It's a bit wary, this is that ILS light, isn't it? Continuing to they would be at the top of the ILS.
Yeah, well, but we're quite a way off the extended centreline, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe try and turn there. Right, maybe, or whatever you feel.
It seemed as we were flying into it, it sort of wanted to go right rather than left. But
Do you see that we're quite a long way upwind of the cloud though? We're not.
yeah.
Just a little bit slower, Alex. 50's okay actually at this height. I'll just play around. It's good for getting you lots of time on the controls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you done any stalling yet?
Yeah, we've done a few tools.
I'm just trying to think what we're going to use this height for.
Yeah.
So what stalls have you done so far?
Just sort of very simple, just let the nose go up, control stop having any effects and then drop. So.
So what are the symptoms of a stall? Have you covered that?
I've sort of, the nose will sort of start to rise on its own. It'll go very quiet.
Start to rise?
No, it'll drop a bit.
Yeah.
It goes quiet. Sort of controls stop really moving the aircraft at all.
Yeah.
And then you'll drop.
Yeah, I mean, what are the warning signs you get first off then? What sort of things that tell you might be about to stall?
Well, the speed.
I'll just straighten up here actually, just to go for this now. Yeah, low airspeed could be a warning, yeah. Anything else?
Depends on the way, they're sort of going quiet.
What about where might the stick be if it's...
Maybe quite a long way back.
Yeah, generally if you've got to stick a long way back, that's normally an indicator that you're at least at risk of stalling. Low airspeed, you start to get a bit of buffet, don't you?
Yes.
Which is the airflow breaking off the wing and actually hitting the tail, and you can feel that through the stick as a bit of a shake. Yeah, so aft stick position, low airspeed, buffet, and the controls don't feel as kind of responsive as normal. And then when you're actually in the stall, I think you said most of them, it's the critical thing that always applies if you're stalled is bringing the stick back will not raise the nose.
No.
Okay, that's a real giveaway that you're stalled. Yeah, and that's true of every single stall. I mean, other things, you know. So and what's the recovery action from the stall?
I'd lower the nose, let us getting some speed again.
Yeah.
Make sure we keep straight, so it didn't spin, and then bring the nose back up to again level flight.
But let me just have it a second.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, it's actually more because my back's hurting me a bit rather than the other room. Basically, the recovery from the stall is always the same for all types of stall. It's lower than as you say, you move the stick forward to regain flying speed, and then you return the glider to its normal attitude. What you don't do actually, as we'll see, if the wing drops, for instance, you don't try and pick it up.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if the wing drops. All you focus on is moving the stick forward. You know, until you've regained flying speed. Then you sort out levelling the wings. Okay. And really important because if you try and pick the wing up, if the wings drop, you'll actually make it worse and it'll probably spin. Yeah. Okay, you have control. So we've got to do some hassle checks. So do you want? Shall I do those actually? Okay. So have you done those before?
No.
Okay, so height is sufficient for this exercise. Stalling is okay for 1,000 feet. Just follow me through. It's hassle, height, airframe limitations. B&E is 108. We know. Rough air is 80. We're restricted to 2G. Straps, my straps secure and tight. Yours, yeah. Note security. The second S is for loose articles. No loose articles that I can see in my cockpit. And then location and lookout. Not overactive airfields or built-up areas. And we know now we have to do 280-degree turns. So turn to the right after looking out, and good look above and below. Well-banked turns we want here. Make sure there's nobody below us, nobody above, and then level there, and then reverse the turn in the other direction. Really important because it tells somebody you're not thermaling, but you're actually about to do some sort of aerobatic manoeuvre. So you don't want to. So all the way back round, good look below and above, which a lot of people don't do. And then we're going to do our stall pointing back towards the roundabout. So first of all, I'd like to show me just turn the variable down if you could. First of all, have you had the stall demoed?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like you to show me just a gentle stall. I'd like you to tell me what speed the glider stalls at, and then recover. Okay?
Right.
So it's unaccelerated. Yep.
So nose in the nose. Shake in.
Yep.
Try not move in.
So what do you reckon? 35 knots or something? Okay. And then recover.
And nose drops. Drop the nose. That's the speed. 55 knots.
So what do you reckon it'll be stalled at?
It looks about 35.
Yeah. It's actually the onset of buffet. I think you can basically count as the stall really.
Right.
Okay, so turn round 180 degrees the other way, so we don't end up whistling off downwind. Okay, now I have control. You follow me through. I'm just going to demonstrate one with wing drop now. Now the way we introduce this is we cheat. We just put a K13 1 o'clock high. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
What we cheat, we put a little bit of rudder in the direction we want the wing to drop. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a bit of right rudder in, and I'm just going to do what you did. Okay. I'm hoping. Okay, there's the wing drop. Stick forward. Regain flying speed, and only then recover. Okay, you have control. So don't overfly the airfield, but just come more towards village. Yeah. So when you've got it all sorted out, show me one of those. Let's try and make the wing drop left. You don't need too much rudder. You need a significant but not huge amount of rudder. Okay.
I like to again without going through the.
Yeah. But we're just
Right.
So put some left rudder in first, and then just stall the glider straight.
There we go.
Okay.
Regain the nose.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to probably set up the circuit now.
Yeah.
We're 1,000 feet, so we're a bit high actually. So just come round to the right. Good look out first. Don't watch the speed there. Okay, we're on circuit really now, aren't we? So keep coming round. We'll be on downwind. Point towards the roundabout, a little bit out from the roundabout, so a bit high. Okay. There's our downwind leg. Okay, let's get the speed on. 50 would probably be good at this point. It's quite bumpy, isn't it?
Yeah.
We start our diagonal now. So turn to left. Okay, that'll do. Now we need 55 knots on our landing speed. Good look out. Got something I can see straight on our nose, but it's a long way out. Okay, trim for that speed. Let's give you a little bit of forward trim. 55 knots. 55, lower than those. Okay, I have control. You just follow me through actually, if you like. So I'm just going to make the other 45 degree turn now. Okay. A bit fast. Naughty because I slightly overshot the centre line there. Okay, and now air brakes. So I'm well in, okay, no problem there, so I'm going to use brake. Don't want to come too low over the farm because you get upset about it. Especially the horses get upset about it. And then gently check the brake descent, but then we keep the glider flying as long. So be careful with this long grass because it's risky ground. Cool, well done Alex, really good. You just slightly cheated on the, well, I think on the wing drop one you sort of lowered that wing before you went in, and if you noticed, I mean it still worked. It's just that you don't need to do that. Okay. If you just stall absolutely straight, with basically what you're doing by putting the rudder in is you're inducing it to tip stall on this wing first, and that's basically what causes it. Some gliders will just have that characteristic. K13s don't really, so you have to kind of have to cheat. Okay, great. Well, I'm glad that was a much better flight than I was expecting to be on the second.